It's fine, I guess. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, episode 5. Episode 4 ended up being the only one that I actually had fun watching. I did still have some notes. And folks have also pointed out some other things about it since then that made me kind of go, oh, yeah, you're kind of right about that. I mean, that said, it wasn't like I thought it was an amazing episode in the first place. It was just the one that I've had the least issues with and actually like had a little bit of fun with. This one, it's fine. Like I get, much like the last few episodes, it just feels like filler. It feels like the kind of episode that should exist in a longer season of television. This should be episode 10 out of 24, not episode 5 out of 8 or however many we're getting. This, again, it's a very generic plot, and more to the point, it doesn't really have anything to say. Not that I'm saying that this particular story should have, but I'm now 5 episodes in, and they haven't really had any episode that really had very much to say. It has either been overdone action or fluff, neither of which deals in the kind of more cerebral, heady, philosophical stuff that Star Trek is best at least in my opinion. So, yeah. Well, we've got an ancient aliens slash possession story here. It really should have been only one of those two. If I had the power, I would go back and I would tell them cut one of these two. Either have a crewman basically get possessed and have that be the story, or have the away team get trapped in this ancient building and have to figure their way out and leave the possession out of it. I personally would opt for the second one because the possession stuff was predictable and hollow. Like it plays out the exact beats that you expected to. There's no twist, really. Like it tries to play off as a surprise that he's possessed instead of just injured, but it kind of also gives the game away on that pretty early, and it's just not interesting. It does nothing interesting with that idea. And maybe you could have if you had more time to flesh it out and it didn't have to be the B story to the stuff going on in the temple. But then even the stuff going on in the temple or prison or whatever it is so perfunctory and has so little time. It doesn't have enough time to be complicated. Like, this is dealing in stuff that I tend to like. I like, weird alien stuff. I like cosmic entities. I like things that are harder to wrap your head around. Like, it's not my favorite episode of Babylon 5, but my favorite of the Babylon 5 movies was Third Space by a fair bit, because I thought they did a pretty dang good job at the sense of otherness and weirdness that they went for with this. This doesn't really have it. I mean, like, there's some neat ideas, neat enough. There's sort of the quantum desync thing. That was kind of neat. It's just not enough. And also, like, Ortegas's brother is deeply uninteresting. Like, I do not care about this guy at all. He's not particularly compelling. He's not adding anything. I actually did like, what was it? Gamble, the med tech who got possessed. I was liking him, which makes that seem like an extra waste, that entire storyline was as dull, generic, and predictable as it was, because I'm like, I was liking that guy. Like, I enjoy having other crew around that I can identify who aren't the main crew. It helps the ship feel bigger, that there are smaller people, ensigns, assistants, this, that. They go, oh, yeah, right, that one. But now it's clear that they just built him up a little over the past couple episodes just so they could twist the knife on killing him, and I didn't care. Like, I liked having it. Like, I wasn't even angry. It is a little bit of a waste, but like, I wasn't even like, no, my favorite character. No, I was just like, oh, I liked the sense that like there's more people in this med bay than just Nurse Chapel and Dr. Mbenga. But and now we're just kind of back to that. It's man, it doesn't suck. The episode doesn't. The season kind of sucks so far. Like the episode is fine. It's serviceable, but like, is that the best I'm gonna get out of this show anymore? Is serviceable? Well, no, I suppose previous episode I actually had fun. Is the best I'm ever gonna get fun fluff? You know, I didn't think much of the second season by the time it was done, but at least it had that second episode. At least it had Ad Astra, which was about stuff. This isn't at all. And also, it does the usual really callous thing that, well, a lot of sci-fi based shows do. Star Trek does, Doctor Who does, and I call it out over there too. But you know, the whole like, oh, well, let's have a member of the local species just so we can have somebody who we can kill. Like, I don't know. And it feels a little crueler given that, like, this is on his planet and it's an expedition to figure out stuff for his people, but you're not going to let him be around for any revelation. You're just going to kill him. Also, Colby, whatever the hell the archaeologist guy who Chapel is with now, he came off like a dick in this. Like, he just unreasonably so. Like, there was a very specific point where it was after Gamble got his eyes all messed up. The fact that they got him back on the ship and that they were like, okay, we need to stop this mission right now. And he was all like, no, we have to go on, talking as if the options are either we stop now and that means we never come back or we push forward. And I was like, hold up, what? Like, yes, it's kind of established the local natives are a little bit touchy and maybe they wouldn't be as cooperative a second time. But like, it is not a given that if you abandon the mission now because of the very clear safety danger that's been established, that means you can never come back and never continue it. Yet he was acting like that was the case. I'm like, what is your deal, dude? You're an idiot. So I don't like him now either. Not that I liked him that much before, but he was neutral. Now I'm like, oh, piss off. Yeah, I don't really have a lot to say about this. It does two plots that, like, it's not like the plots don't fit together. They do. In theory, they complement each other. But, like, I've seen both of these things done before. Only one of them was doing anything that was vaguely interesting. So, what? Oh, and the gore. Okay. So the idea that Marie, I think, like had this response to the possessed guy, and that had to do with the fact that her DNA is kind of hybridized with the Gorn. I don't like that, but it's not just like a generic thing. It's because that is something that like there are implications that come with doing that I don't think they know about, or if they know, they don't care. And that troubles me. And this is something I might not pick up on, except that I remember a clip from a trailer for the season that showed like a bunch of crew members being like having their DNA tinkered with to become basically Vulcan briefly for whatever the hell the mission is. And then they immediately all start being racist to Spock. I hated that when I saw that clip, partially because like it's cringe and it's awful and it's not funny. But there's another problem with that, which is that you're implying that racism is genetic. That's kind of messed up. When you imply that something cultural is in fact down to genetics, that's not okay. And I feel like I just got an early taste of that with the Gorn thing. Because if the Gorn have another species that they're like the sworn enemies of or something, that is most likely, I mean, like, I'm not going to say it's impossible to say like genetic memory that certain things are a threat, but it didn't come across like that. It came across like this sense of direct recognition, not like an instinctive, this kind of thing is a problem. It really came across like this is our sworn enemy, which would be a cultural thing, and culture is not in your DNA. Do you know what kind of people think culture is in your DNA? That certain degrees of being civilized is in your DNA, certain heightened abilities of like intellect and sophistication are in your DNA. Do you know what kind of people think that? It shouldn't be Star Trek. So I'd almost forgotten about the crew members become Vulcans and are immediately racist at Spock thing was coming. I'd almost forgotten about that. But then this Gorn thing happened, and I thought about it, and I went, oh, crap. So, yeah. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Episode 5, whatever. It is a whatever of an episode. Whatever your thoughts are on this, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills. Enables me to do this as my living, even if you can't help me out that way. Like, share, subscribe. Those all help. Don't worry too much about it, though. We take a relaxed attitude around here, so just come on back next time we need a break. And now to thank my highest supporting patrons. Robin Moore, Jared Boyce, Zubin Fulla, Auntie Kate 808, Mira G, Angry Casperl, Dave Hall, Movie Turtle, Oliver B, Sean Miller, Welsh Wrestling Geeks, Melissa Pedersen, Mary Mello, Becky Sparks, Loki Eris, Tracy Scrabbit, Pal Barabajoggle, and Sir Didymus is my favorite. Don't worry, the rats are all fine, but my rat wrangler is not here right now, and I thought we could have Archie say hi. Or not.